Okay, so you know how we usually kick things off, diving headfirst into some uh, bizarre corner of the internet, unpacking the strange and unsettling?
Hmm.
Well, you, our listener, probably figured out today's deep dive is different. It's personal.
That's right. For
Yeah.
those of you who were with us right at the end of our last analysis of Mike's Waffen facts, you might recall things taking a rather abrupt and, frankly, pretty unsettling turn.
Yeah.
There was a definite sense of danger, an immediate need for us to, well, to disappear.
And that's exactly where we are now. This isn't about digging into some external mystery. This deep dive is about us, about the events that forced us into hiding.
Right.
We're kind of pulling back the curtain on our own story, and it starts with something new, something really unexpected that arrived just recently at our, let's just call it our temporary location.
We received a package, just an unmarked box, and inside, a letter. And our focus today, our entire mission for this deep dive, is for you to understand what this delivery means and, I guess, what it implies for our next steps, where we go from here.
So try and picture this, if you can. An abandoned train station. It's dim, really dusty. The air is thick with that smell of, disuse.
Mm-hmm. Old metal and damp.
Exactly. And we're basically hunkered down behind whatever we could find to make a sort of barricade, old crates, bits of scrap metal. The tension is, well, it's pretty thick. You can practically taste it.
Yeah, you really can. And even in this deserted place, there's this nagging feeling, like you're being watched.
Constantly.
It's a palpable anxiety,
Yeah.
fueled by everything that happened back at the studio.
Yeah.
And then, right there, amidst this makeshift shelter we'd built, we found it.
A plain cardboard box. Nothing remarkable about it at all.
Except it definitely wasn't there before. We'd know.
No way. And on top, a single letter addressed to, well, not really to us exactly.
Right.
The letter was just addressed for Regulus. That's it. Just those two words in this really clear, almost printed font.
And that name, Regulus. I mean,
Yeah.
it just hit us like a punch to the gut, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Instantly.
What's really fascinating here, and you might remember this if you've been following along, is the immediate connection that name has to, well, everything we've been investigating.
Everything.
Regulus was the planet mentioned way back in the Dosacru logs.
Right.
It was heavily referenced in those Grindman Friedensburg reports we looked at,
No.
and maybe most chillingly, the Nova Crew's very last warning to us was specifically about Regulus 5 as a trap.
Exactly. So the question just screaming in our faces, and hopefully in yours too, is how? I mean, how in the world could anyone know to send something addressed for Regulus to us, specifically here, after we've taken every single possible precaution to stay hidden?
It's beyond just unsettling.
Yeah.
It's actually terrifying when you think about it.
It really is.
And the letter itself,
Yeah,
it offers a glimpse, maybe, but it's a very cryptic one. It's definitely from the Grindman Friedensburg.
seems like it.
The tone is super formal, almost detached,
Yeah.
acknowledging that they've received information about our current situation.
Yeah, it's basically like they're saying, hi, we know you're in deep trouble, and then they offer this indirect support. Those are their exact words.
Right, indirect support.
In the form of unregelmäßige Bereitstellung von experimentellen Gerätschaften, which, okay, let's just unpack this for you. That translates to irregular provision of experimental equipment.
Which immediately raises a huge question for you to consider, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
the letter itself kind of hints at this duality in their motives.
Yeah. How so?
Well, are these devices meant to genuinely help us survive? To help us navigate this whole mess? Or are we, in a way, being used, like guinea pigs maybe, to evaluate their latest tech developments in a very real-world high-stakes scenario?
They actually say that.
They explicitly state it could be either, or both, helping us survive and evaluating new developments.
Which doesn't exactly inspire a ton of confidence, does it?
Not really, no. But then they mention a specific piece of kit that was actually in the box. The Hyperdimensional Impulsum Fingers GR5.
Hyperdimensional pulse receiver GR5. Wow, that sounds intense.
It does. And what's fascinating here, and what should really stand out to you, is the stated purpose of this device. According to this letter, it's for observing something they call the Interdimensionals radio program.
The interdimensional radio program? Seriously?
Apparently. So our new task, it seems, is to record, analyze, and then transmit whatever findings we get back to the Grindman Friedensburg through a secure channel they've apparently set up for us.
So wait, hang on. Suddenly we're not just trying to, survive anymore. We're being tasked with
Right.
listening to other dimensions, broadcasting from beyond reality. It's absolutely surreal, isn't it?
Completely. And the letter emphasizes that this information we gather could be crucial to understanding broader connections.
Broader connections. What does that even mean? For you, for us, for any of this, connections between what and what?
Well, if we try to connect this to the bigger picture, we've been slowly uncovering, in Mike's Waffen facts and all the surrounding mysteries.
Which you have been following along with.
Right. It sort of suggests that the Grindman-Friedensberg believe this Interdimensionalis radio program, whatever it is, might hold some kind of key. A key to understanding the larger forces at play, the connections between, say, the Doza crew, their own research, maybe even the really unsettling stuff within Mike's Waffen facts itself.
Huh. Okay. And the letter, how does it end?
It ends with this appeal for vigilance, reminding us that our work is of substanzieller Bedeutung.
Substantial importance.
Exactly, substantial importance. It feels like they're dangling this idea that we're part of something much bigger now, but they're not exactly filling in the blanks for us. Or for you, the listener.
No kidding.
Indeed. That formal tone, the really ambiguous offer of support, this incredibly cryptic task, it all paints a picture of an organization that operates deep in the shadows, doesn't it? With its own very hidden agenda.
And the fact that they know where we are, that's the bit I can't shake, despite everything we did.
That's deeply concerning for us, and frankly, it should be concerning for you listening to. How is that possible?
When I read that letter for the first time, I think I actually gasped out loud.
Yeah.
It was just this wave of pure bewilderment crashing over the fear we were already swimming in.
Yeah.
We just looked at each other, didn't we? Completely lost, anxious, didn't know what to say.
And then there was the box itself. It felt light, but it was sealed up tight.
Okay.
And as we opened it, there was this shared moment of, well, like you said, a mixture of everything, really.
Yeah.
Bewilderment at what was actually inside. This strange kind of morbid fascination with whatever this device was they'd sent us.
Uh-huh.
And just a very real, very potent sense of fear, of the complete unknown. What had we gotten ourselves into?
We're not going to describe the specifics of the device itself right now, mostly because, honestly, the source material, the letter, doesn't give us much detail to go on.
Not really.
But just seeing it there, this piece of what looked like really advanced experimental tech that had just appeared out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
It was such a stark reminder for us, and hopefully for you, of just how far down this rabbit hole we've tumbled.
Definitely. And in that moment, just facing this bizarre delivery, the implications of the letter hanging in the air, the only thing we could really do was, well, we just sort of held on to each other.
Yeah.
That silent embrace, it really captured the utter uncertainty of it all. What do we do now? What does any of this mean for us?
We're in this completely surreal situation, just totally unsure of what the next step should even be. So you see the gravity of our situation now, right? This mysterious delivery has thrown absolutely everything into sharp relief. The forces we were researching, the shadowy Grindman-Friedensberg.
Yeah.
They're no longer just a subject of our analysis, something we talk about. They're now directly interacting with us.
And this completely unexpected turn really highlights for you, the listener, the inherent risks in the kind of deep dives we undertake.
Absolutely.
By venturing into these obscure, and let's face it, potentially sensitive areas, we've seemingly attracted the attention of entities that operate way beyond the conventional, things we didn't fully understand.
And that leaves you, our listener, with a pretty crucial question to ponder, I think. What are the true motives of the Grindman-Frieden's work, really? Can they actually be trusted? Is this offer of indirect support genuine? Is it some kind of lifeline in a truly desperate situation? Or is there a hidden agenda here, something connected to Regulus and this bizarre Interdimensionals radio program?
And if we connect that back to the broader themes we've explored over time in the Mike's Waffen Facts deep dives,
Yeah.
it really underscores for you how thin the lines can be between reality and fiction sometimes, how this seemingly outlandish content we analyze can suddenly have very real, very personal, potentially dangerous implications.
This whole experience, honestly, it serves as a stark reminder for all of us about the risks involved in just seeping knowledge and digging too deep sometimes. Sometimes a deep dive can lead you down totally unexpected and potentially dangerous paths, even for the people doing the research. So stay vigilant, everyone. And
Yeah.
well, I guess we'll see what happens next. We'll keep you posted.